Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
I wonder how many episodes The Golden Girls has. 180, okay. How about The Andy Griffith Show? 249, okay. What about the Worry-Free Retirement? 400? Holy Congratulations, Tony.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, nationally recognized retirement specialist and four-time author, Tony Walker.
The year 1995. Just entering my 21st year in the world of money and finance, a buddy of mine suggested I use my broadcasting degree from Western Kentucky University to start a television show about money and finance. My reaction, who in the world's going to watch Tony Walker on TV, and how in the world could I afford to produce and air such a TV show in the first place? To which he replied, "Hey, you haven't heard of local origination TV? It's free." Now, after hearing the word free, I was all ears. You see, back in the 90s, when cable TV was just starting up, the government required the local cable companies to offer a channel to the general public called local origination programming. Basically, this opened the door for any and all local talent, if you can call it that, to come into their studios for free, and yes, the cable company would help produce your show and air it on this local origination channel. And you thought the government's cash for clunkers idea was a bad one. Anyway, with all of this local programming, one can only imagine and hopefully forget the variety of zany acts the viewer could stand. Yes, the list of crazy acts was unfortunately for the viewer endless, and, add more misery to the mix, you had yours truly taking advantage of free TV on cable, dressed in suit and tie as one of the few financial advisors in the country at that time, hosting his own TV show. 8 years and 250 episodes later, Your Money Matters was discontinued. And after taking a few years off from TV and continuing to focus on building my practice, in 2007, I was fortunate enough to land a weekly gig on a popular TV show in Louisville, Kentucky called Wave 3 Listens Live, where each and every Monday for 7 straight years I served as the local retirement planning expert, taking live call-in questions from viewers about retirement. Then, the leap of faith really took place in 2014 when I decided to drag along with me America's favorite financial sidekick, kicking and screaming, as we secured a huge 100-square-foot office to serve as our studio. Later, we dubbed that the Broom Closet Studio. So we fast forward to today, and here we are recording this show in our brand new, modern, state-of-the-art studio, much larger than any studio we've ever had, of course, recording our 400th episode of the Worry-Free Retirement. And right now, I got to turn to Aaron. Aaron, what do you think after all these years of hard work?
Well, Tony, first and foremost, congratulations on 400 episodes. That's just it, a lot of hard work. When we first started this journey, the term leap of faith became really prominent in both of our vocabularies. So through a leap of faith, a lot of hard work, and most importantly, a lot of prayer, here we are now at episode 400.
And Aaron, I sure appreciate all you've done, partner.
Right back at you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So what does a humble little man in a sweater vest recording his 400th episode of a TV show geared towards helping savers have to do with you and your money? Well, stay tuned, because when I return, I'm going to show you the key to making the most out of your money and your life, and how to make your financial journey a success both now and in the future. I'm Tony Walker. You're watching the Worry-Free Retirement. I'll be right back.
Hey Tony, it's Cheryl Morris. And way back when, well, it was such an honor to be able to work with you in the very beginning of your show. And here you are, the 400th episode. It's amazing. You've done a wonderful job with everything. And good luck for the future, and congratulations.
Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a pension buyout? Has the company you work for moved, been acquired, or closed its doors forever? And finally, do you have a 401k with a previous employer you'd like to move to safer territory? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k or lump sum pension to Tony Walker Financial. Let's meet in person to discuss your retirement options. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your free, no obligation appointment. Let us help you today.
So Tony, remember, I was there for your first. Congratulations on your 400.
Hello, Tony Walker with Tony Walker Financial. Congratulations on your 400th episode. You know, we spent quite a few of those together. So, 400 is, it's pretty big deal. You're a heavy hitter. Congratulations to you.
I tell you, this 400 episode thing is cool. Does Derek have the TNT loaded up? Are we starting with that first?
Well, no, remember last week you talked about a phone call. You've got a phone call waiting on you.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Elwood P. Gold Rush.
Phone call?
Yeah, hey, Tony, we got to go. You ready? All right, 3, 2, 1.
This camera, I guess. Hello, this is Tony Walker. Hello?
Hello, this is Elwood.
This is Elwood Gold Rush. Wait a minute, who called into that radio show I hosted 40 years ago in Franklin, Kentucky? You got to be kidding me.
Tony, it's Elwood, alive and a-kicking. How you doing, partner?
Well, I mean, it's great to hear from you too, Elwood. How can I help you?
Yeah, I got a question. How come you ain't warning everybody about the dangers of that crypto?
Well, wait a minute. Elwood, while I wouldn't recommend crypto for savers, it might be fine for investors and speculators. I mean, that might be okay.
Well, Tony, the way I figure, if crypto could kill Superman, it could kill anyone, right?
Elwood, I think you're talking about kryptonite. What I'm referring to is cryptocurrency.
Oh, never mind. Talk to you later, Tony.
Oh, okay. Well, good talking to you too, Elwood. All right, let's get back to the show. That was interesting. Our Tony in the Trenches comes to us from Helen in southern Indiana, who asks the following. Tony, I watched a recent episode of the WorryFree Retirement where you were showed as a goal of someone trying to grow their practice so they could sell it one day. And basically Helen's saying, Tony, I'm worried you're going to do the same thing. How can I know this is not going to happen if I invest my money with you? Well, Helen, that's a good question. And basically this all comes down to trust. Trust in the advisor's wisdom in whom you place your money with, their integrity, their honesty, their credentials, and how they are set up to handle retirement. And not just when you hand their money over, heck, anybody can do that, but what is the motivation for an advisor to continue to help a client long after the sale is made? Well, to help you figure that out, I actually suited up a very capable helper to ask some questions, and that would be me and all of the people I've met over the years who have asked me the following questions. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go through the 10 top questions you need to ask a financial advisor before ever employing them. And the first question out of the box is, are they a fiduciary? Are they a fiduciary? See, a fiduciary is charged by law to work in your best interest. And unfortunately, believe it or not, many clients are going to advisors who are not fiduciaries. So the first question you need to ask an advisor before you turn over your lump sum pension or 401k is, are you a fiduciary? Number 2, is that person independent? Now, we talked a couple of weeks ago on a show about the number of advisors who are not independent. An independent advisor means that they are not captive or work for another big company. At Tony Walker Financial, I'm the sole owner of Tony Walker Financial, and we work for you. We don't work for Charles Schwab or the insurance companies. We work with them, but we work for you. We are independent of anybody, the big boys, telling us what to do with your money. Well, this is a biggie, credentials. What are their credentials? And are they actual educational credentials that they can verify? 2 of the main credentials that I have are educational degrees from the College for Financial Planning and the Chartered Life Underwriter from the American College. Those are 2 that I have. Oh, written game plan. I love this. While a lot of advisors talk about written game plans, I don't know where these written game plans are because a lot of people come in to see me who apparently have been to advisors with written game plans, and I ask them for the written game plan. They're like, I never got one. So folks, if you don't get a written game plan, Do not invest money with someone. You want the written game plan first. You want to make sure you understand it and then invest the money. Number 5, you got to ask these folks, how are you paid? If they won't tell you, you need to ask for Form ADV Part 2, assuming they're a fiduciary and they're registered. But if they won't disclose the fees and the commissions in writing, I would get a second opinion immediately. And then you say, okay, if they're charging fees, what are they? Well, many people won't tell you the fees, or they just kind of blow it off. Well, our fees at Tony Walker Financial, we'll talk about this more in a minute, are 0.8% to do everything through our Charles Schwab platform. That's usually about half of what most money managers charge. Then you got to be careful. The next one is, what about additional fees? You see, a lot of times people might charge 1.5%, 2%, but then they have a third party that might help them manage the account as well, or large expense ratios on mutual funds that can drive the fees up even higher. So these fees can eat your lunch, and you got to know in writing what those fees are. I like this one. If you do meet with the head honcho there, or if you got the owner of the company that's willing to meet with you, or you hear him speak somewhere, whatever the case is that owner of that company going to continue to meet with you if you request it? In many cases, I found that people get frustrated because they cannot. At Tony Walker Financial, I am the owner of the company, and a client is always welcome to meet with me or talk to me by phone upon request at any time. I like this one. What's going to happen when something happens to you or a spouse? Are all those accounts that somebody's going to have to get all those death certificates and claim forms and fill it out and helping your beneficiaries figure out what to do? Are they going to help you with that free of charge? Probably not. But at Tony Walker Financial, we will. In fact, just the other day, I met with 4 children, adult children of someone that we had lost, one of our clients, and we helped them through all of the claim paperwork for all of the accounts that we handled, and we did that for them at no charge. It's a huge service. And then finally, do they offer annuities? Now, folks, we love annuities. We're going to see this in a minute. I've been using annuities longer than most people could even spell annuity. The problem with annuities is they're usually oversold, or in many cases, people are getting purchasing annuities that are their incorrect type of annuities, and then they get stuck in the wrong annuity. You don't want to do that. So if you're getting ready to purchase an annuity, you need to ask about the surrender terms, the surrender penalties. You want to get something in writing. Do not sign up for that annuity until you fully understand the annuity. And finally, we have a free white paper download of these 10 questions. So if you're thinking about interviewing somebody, including us, I don't care, download this thing, make sure you get the questions answered before ever investing your life savings with an advisor. So if you think about Tony Walker Financial and where we've been in 2021 and where we're going and why we've been so successful, I'm going to come back and share with you the secret sauce, and it's going to surprise you how simple this really is to take care of savers and help them get what they want out of life. Tony Walker, we're going to get the whiteboard out. I'll be right back.
Hey Tony, 400 episodes. Wow, that's such an accomplishment. I know you've had a passion for communicating and helping clients over the years through the show, and just wish you really excited for the next 400 more. Congratulations.
Who can you trust? It's one of the most important decisions you'll have to make. Question is, are you ready? Well, we're here to help at Tony Walker Financial. You know, we care more about you than we do your money, and we have over 2,000 happy clients and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Rolling over a 401k, confused about Social Security, maybe you're afraid of running out of money. Learn how to use and enjoy and protect your hard-earned money. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started. After producing more than 250 episodes of Your Money Matters, being the featured retirement planning specialist for more than 300 episodes on network television, and today as we record our 400th episode of the WorryFree Retirement, I must say that the one thing I'm most grateful for to God is for this: giving me the wisdom to keep my hand to the plow, to work hard, and to just do what's right by the client. That's it. It's not that complicated, but to do this day in and day out and to continue to help more and more savers takes a lot of work and a lot of great people behind me. Oh, speaking of great people working behind the scenes at Tony Walker Financial, we now include 15 full-time employees at Tony Walker Financial. That's a long way to go, seeing as though just about 15 years ago, I only had these two kind folks who are still with me, Connie Fortney and Heather Hughes. So let's take a look at the whiteboard and kind of track our success and why this concept of philosophy plus process equals planning is not only good for our clients, but has been helpful in helping Tony Walker Financial stay the course. Got some cheat notes here to go over things. But first of all, you got to think about, does your advisor or does the advisory firm you're working for really have a philosophy? Well, to have a philosophy, it must start with anything dealing with a mission statement. And we're going to go back and forth full screen here, Aaron, but let's put up on full screen our mission statement. And here it is. It's very simple. It's simply this, and it's trademarked, by the way. Helping savers worry less about money. Now, you'd have to read many of my past books to understand my take on this, and growing up, I'm a grandfather and working with so many savers who feel neglected and sometimes underserved. And that has led, after these past 37 years, to a book I wrote, and it's a philosophy entitled Live Well, Die Broke. Incidentally, this best-selling book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I'd highly recommend you read this. Now, why would you want to read it? Well, if you're thinking about working with an advisor, why wouldn't you want to know their philosophy on life and money? Because that's the key. Many of you come in to talk to me and I find out you're working with advisors who don't have the same mission statement, the same values, the same things you want out of life as the advisor. You've got to get on the same page with the advisor, and it starts with philosophy. And then finally, something I created, and this was just after working in the trenches so long, the 3 halves of life. And again, that's trademark. So the 3 halves of life, what I've noticed over the years is people, when they live longer and longer into what I call the second half of life, they start spending less and less money, which begs the question, why? Well, because most of them are afraid of running out of money, or they keep thinking they're going to need all this money in the future, and in many cases they do not. So the moral of that story is, my philosophy is, many of you are waiting too long to spend and enjoy this money, which leads to our next thing, which is called a process. Now, at Tony Walker Financial, years ago, I realized, quite frankly, I didn't have a process. Now, granted, I had a sales process. I was very good at selling things. I could meet with people and talk to them and pose problems and sell them annuities or life insurance or mutual funds or whatever the product was. But I really had no process to understand who these folks were, what it was they were wanting to accomplish in life, and more importantly, how to build an organization that would monitor their needs, not just when they retire. I mean, heck, folks, anybody can sell you something. I'm talking about taking what you want and monitoring that from cradle to grave. And let's go over that 5-step process very briefly. It first starts with what? Clarifying your vision, or what is it you want out of life? This would be your personal mission statement, and I'm very good at figuring out what it is you want. That's the first step. The second step is we do an assessment. We'll get to our game plan in just a second, but we provide an assessment. Now, unlike a lot of advisors who aren't going to give you a free assessment unless you agree to do business with them, which is ludicrous. I can't imagine agreeing to turn over your money to somebody without seeing something in writing, but anyway, whatever. So what we do is we provide a free assessment at no charge, and we're going to encourage you to study that and make sure it's what you're looking for. If it's what you're looking for, then we're going to commit, you will commit to working with Tony Walker Financial. And here's the best part. Once you commit to working with us, the 4th step of the process is the implementation part, or what I call the onboarding process. And man, this is where we really shine, because we're going to do everything for you. We're going to make those 401k rollover calls. We're going to go get the money from the other custodians and move it over. We're going to make sure there's not a bunch of taxes and fees and all these other things that could occur. We'll do all the heavy lifting. You just sit back and enjoy the ride. And then finally, and this is what we've been talking about today, step 5, monitor your progress. Folks, one thing's for sure, nothing stays the same. Eventually, you're going to pass away. You're going to lose a spouse, could even lose a child. And you want to make sure that advisor has a process in place that's going to be there for the long haul. And finally, that leads to the game plan. Now, our proprietary software and our written game plan is unlike anything out there, and this is what allows us to monitor your progress. Now, in all sum total, I do want to take a minute to just kind of give you a year in review. So what has this philosophy that I've developed over the years, what has this process that's proprietary to Tony Walker Financial, which puts savers' interest ahead of everybody else, including ours, and then finally this written game plan, what has it allowed Tony Walker Financial to accomplish in terms of my original mission, which is helping more and more savers worry less and less about money. Well, now keep in mind before I show you these numbers, by the way, I don't have sales goals. I don't really care which companies we do business with. I'm not out here trying to get a bunch of recognition. What I'm trying to do is write the best product for you based on the philosophy, process, and plan. See, the products will fall into place once you have that. The problem is most people out here are looking for the magic product or the magic bullet or the latest sales pitch, and that's a terrible way to do retirement planning. But nevertheless, I'll have to say, and again, I credit our staff for this because we do such great work for our clients, but what happened in 2021? How successful was our philosophy, process, and planning process, not only for our clients, but what all did we do to help this many people? Well, first of all, and this is in 2021, okay, we brought in to Tony Walker Financial, from several hundred clients, by the way, over $115 million. In other words, in 2021, as a result of our efforts and hard work, $115 million of new dollars came into Tony Walker Financial that people wanted us to manage. That's in addition to all the other money management we do. Now, this is what's really interesting. This was evenly divided. We didn't do this intentionally. We did this through our split IRA concept, which is a dandy, which gives you the flexibility, the use, control, all the things you need without pigeonholing you and locking you in one annuity or putting you too much in the stock market. We give you a little of both. And what's interesting, roughly, this is wild. Charles Schwab, okay, that's our stocks, bonds, mutual funds, etc. That's our managed program, took in roughly $57 million of new money that went to Schwab for us to manage, all right? Ironically, roughly $57 million of new premium went to annuities, fixed annuities. And ironically, unlike a lot of advisors who only sell one product or pitching bonuses and all this stuff, and a lot of these products pay very high commissions, folks, so you have to understand, we pretty much evenly distributed all of that annuity premium amongst 6 different companies. You see, as fiduciaries, our job is to try to find the product that's right for you. We're not driven by commissions. We're not driven by just 1 or 2 companies. We're trying to find companies that fit within the planning process. So if you're sitting there, folks, thinking, you know, I don't really have an advisor I feel that's working in my best interest, or I feel like now that they're just trying to sell me something or that they've sold me something, I never hear from them again. It's probably because they don't have a philosophy, they don't have a process, and they don't have a written game plan they've given you. That's why you feel so clueless and in the dark. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Why don't you do this? Regardless of whether you're retired or retiring soon, log on right now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Just click on that Let's Get Started button, or if you like, you can simply call the toll-free number on your screen. Well, what does the Bible have to say about staying successful and keeping your hand to the plow and staying focused on the things of God? Oh, it has a lot to say about that, but let me get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Warning, a licensed insurance agent with no prior knowledge of annuities can legally toss your 401k into an annuity. Don't get stuck in the wrong annuity. Get a second opinion from TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Hey Tony, a huge congratulations for show number 400. I think I've been around for most of those since I worked for you so long. But congratulations for the quality of the show, the fact that you have your own studio, your own staff, the wisdom and the knowledge, and of course the humor that you bring to the show, I know is much appreciated by your faithful audience. So again, congratulations on a job well done.
Ever heard of the goofy Christian syndrome? Well, probably not, seeing as though I just made it up last week. So what is the goofy Christian syndrome? Well, basically it's the act of well-meaning religious folks, yes, even Christians, who become so zealous in their desire to please God that they sometimes can create unintentional consequences for others. Take the Apostle Paul, for instance. He exhibited the goofy Christian syndrome as he persecuted a multitude of Christians whose beliefs didn't line up with his. That is, until God's Holy Spirit got a hold of him in Acts 9:4. In June of 1991, after experiencing my own spiritual encounter with God and turning my life over to Christ, my daily zealous routine included waking up at the crack of dawn each day so I could catch a preacher on the radio. follow along with his teaching, and then study the Bible for a few hours before trudging off to work. As if that wasn't enough zeal, I shortly thereafter joined a 2-year-long men's Bible study group, which happened to meet some 60 miles away from my hometown. Well, all was well with my walk with the Lord until one early morning after listening to my favorite preacher share his insights on Proverbs chapter 31, a chapter that describes the perfect woman, the goofy Christian syndrome kicked into high gear for yours truly when later that morning, after my wife Susan had awoken from her sleeping slumber following her 12-hour night shift at the hospital, I slowly read to her Proverbs 31. The scene became quite dramatic as I concluded the reading of Scripture and asked her the following: "So, Susan, what are you going to do now to be a better mom and wife?" Her reaction? Well, as we record this show in February of 2021, I feel we are in a point in time where everyone appears zealous about their views on life, viruses, religion, and money. I guess that's why Paul stated the following admonition in 1 Corinthians 15:10 for us to remember where we are now and the strength with which we have and who gets the credit for it. And he said this: "But by the grace of God I am what I am, and his grace toward me did not prove in vain. But I labored even more than all of them. Yet not I, but the grace of God that was with me." You see, Paul understood that to be zealous does not mean we beat people over the head with our opinions, but rather to serve them by living the life God calls us to live, which is why I am so motivated to see and help so many savers. I feel that God has given me so much and so little time to help as many people as I can. It's a wonderful quandary indeed, and one that requires no goofiness on my part, just a humble heart to serve. So what about you? You may be sitting there feeling like, okay, the financial world to me, Tony, is getting a little goofy as well. In fact, it seems like they're more interested in my money than they are interested in me. Why is that? Well, one of the problems is you don't have a written game plan. You don't have someone who has been in this business long enough to understand what the needs of savers are. And this is why we created the Worry-Free Retirement Process. So to learn more about our process and to meet with me in person and to find out more about how we might be of help to you, here's all you have to do. Number one, you can log on to our website at TonyWalkerFinancial.com. And once you're there, just click on the Let's Get Started button. That information will be confidentially sent to our offices in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and then we can arrange either one, a 10-minute free fiduciary phone call with myself, or if it warrants, I'll be happy to meet with you personally at either our Louisville, Bowling Green, or Lexington, Kentucky offices. Or if you like, just simply call the toll-free number on your screen. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's program. We'll look forward to seeing you next week on the Worry-Free Retirement. But you remember, between now and then, if all else fails, you be worry-free. Make it a good one.